Good morning, all members. All members will please come to the floor. Members, if you'll all come to the floor. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? Well, good morning, members. It's going to be a very special, great day to be a Georgian this morning, and certainly to be an American as we celebrate our 250th. We're going to have the morning roll call. If everybody's in the chamber, all members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Members, you may want to stay this morning in the chamber. We're going to have a very special morning that will honor our country, our origins as a country, so I think you will enjoy. We have some special guests that will help pay tribute to our 250th, so if you will, we'll ask you to remain in the chamber unless you have special business outside. With that, doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed. As is our custom, I better do the vote. Yeah, thanks for that. Got ahead of myself there. All members voted. All members voted. I think we have one new guy over here in the corner. He's just getting his in. Thank you, Chairman Meeks. We're glad you're here. All members now voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? I've already gotten the doors closed. Thanks, Carrie. So we'll get back on schedule again. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 137th House District. Junction City, Georgia, is the headquarters. Representative Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Happy Georgia Day. We started as a state on this day in 1733, and we'll learn more about that in a little while. But right now, I am proud to introduce a friend of mine, Dr. Bob Patterson, who will be our preacher of the day. I had planned kind of a folksy introduction, and then I read his extremely impressive bio, which had more in it than I ever dreamed, and I thought I better step it up a notch. So it was most notable to me that his bio starts with his family. And he mentions right at the beginning his wife Angela, who is a pediatric dentist, and their children Tiffany, Heather, Aaron, and Madeline, and their husbands and fiance, and of course the grandchildren Skylar and Easton. He is pastor of the First Baptist Church in Warm Springs, Georgia, and they have a mission statement to proclaim the gospel to believers and to non-believers, and to care for members of the church and the community and lead the church to accomplish her mission by modeling the life of Christ to our community. And he does that in an amazing way and an excellent job, because he serves as a school board member for Meriwether County, healthcare board member on the Chamber of Commerce, West Georgia College Board, Rotary he's very involved in. He has been the past president of the Ministerial Alliance many times. He's involved with Friends of the Little White House, numerous regional and state Baptist fellowships, conventions, advisory councils, and more. And because of the excellent work he did, he's been the recipient of numerous awards, recognitions, and he is the author of a number of publications. So in the words of my less formal introduction, I was going to say he loves the Lord, his family, and community. His knowledge of history is evident and engaging, and he's always informative, and I know you're going to enjoy Dr. Bob Patterson this morning.
Mr. Speaker, good to have you, Dr. Bob. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Representative Buckner. I really wish my mom and dad could have been here to hear what she said. My mother would have believed it, and my daddy would have enjoyed it. He does not know how to give up was a motto of General Oglethorpe's family. It described him. It both defined him and described him. They were words that he lived by. But you know, people who, while they're not always right, are seldom in doubt. That could have been his fate, except for the family in which he grew up, the faith which he embraced, and the education which he received. Born a few days before Christmas, he was the youngest of 10 children. When it came time, he was educated at the premier prep school in England, attended the oldest English-speaking university in the world. In the midst of that, his country entered into a conflict, and he answered a call to arms, and he served in the army. When he returned, he became a legislator like all of you are. He served there for 33 years. There were two things that helped form his attitude and his behavior and his drive to help other people. One of them was a close friend of his died in debtor's prison. This spurred him to be an advocate for the needed prison reforms in England, which were passed. It gave him great notoriety. But he also knew people who were not from his social class. He knew folks who had the capacity to own a business, to have a job, to make money, to provide for their family, but they couldn't do that. So he envisioned the idea of let's have a colony. You know, politics is the art of the possible, Bismarck said. In lobbying with King George, he knew that England needed a buffer colony to protect from the Spanish and the French and the Native Americans. He knew there were economic reasons why another colony would be well, but he added to that, let's bring needy poor people who are deserving and capable here and give them a chance to have a life. And then when he said, and let's call it Georgia after the king, that sort of closed the deal. So for the first time in 50 years, they issued a charter. General Oglethorpe is with us today, and you're going to hear more about that in a minute. But let me ask you, what words define you? What words would best describe you? What are words that you live by? You may say, but I don't have anything like that. I don't know. Let me suggest, after I'm done speaking, of course, take your phone out, look at your calendar, and look at your bank account. That'll tell you what you value, what's important, and is a clue to what drives you in this life. Let me share with you, as you would expect, some scriptures that people for millennia have used to identify words that would define them. The Hebrew prophet said, do justice, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. The wisdom literature said a good name is more desirable than great riches, and to be esteemed is better than silver or gold. And one that I really like, a gentle answer turns away wrath. Jesus, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. His brother James, writing several decades after the death and resurrection of Jesus, said, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. The Apostle Paul, the interpreter of Jesus, said, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving one another. You know, after being the full-time pastor of the same church for 40 years, I've done a bunch of funerals. A few years ago, I decided I need to ask for some help. So I told my members, I said, listen, if you want me to do your funeral, I'll be happy to do it. But give me something to work with. Don't make me have to read a whole lot of scripture and just barely mention your name. Some of them have taken to heart my request and give me good things to work with so that when I go to speak with the family, man, it's easy. Because they've chosen good words to live by, words that define and describe them. You have the opportunity, with the words you choose to live by, to help your family and to help your pastor on that day when he or she will stand over your casket or your ashes and talk about you. It's one of the few things in life you have some control over. So what will your words be? In a few weeks, I'll requalify to run for office again, and I'm sure y'all going to be requalifying soon to run for office, to get to be here, fight this traffic, do all the stuff you have to do here. God bless you for that. But as you sign up, make that commitment. It might be a good time to remember George's first motto, not for ourselves, but for others. This is God's word for God's people this morning. Thanks be to God. If you're able, could you stand, please, and we'll pray. God, I thank you for the good and decent people in this room, for what they endure to be able to be here and serve. I thank you for the sacrifices they make, for their families they leave at home, for the businesses they have to be away from. Speak to their hearts and minds this morning. And as you do that, Father, ask for your grace to be abundant, so they'll be able to find the right words to live by that will describe them. And all God's people said, amen. We have a special honor guard this morning that'll be presenting the colors. And after they're down front and the colors have been presented, we will pledge allegiance. States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members, thank you for your attention. We're going to have a little special part of our morning this morning, and I thank you for paying attention to that. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to our chaplain of the day, Brother Bob. Thank you for those words. I want to now introduce and recognize, no introduction necessary, Representative Buckner. She will make an introduction. Representative Buckner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are very pleased today to have James Edward Oglethorpe, a British general, member of Parliament, a philanthropist who founded the colony of Georgia in 1733 as a social experiment for debtors and a buffer against the Spanish Florida. As the only trustee to travel to America, he established Savannah and promoted anti-slavery and defended the colony for 10 years. Oglethorpe was an early proponent of anti-slavery, making Georgia the only colony to ban it originally, and he held a benevolent philosophy that was regarded, and he was regarded both as a hero and a strict leader. He returned to England in 1743, where he faced a court-martial, which was dismissed, and he remained active in society until his death at the ripe old age of 88. We are glad to have today General James Edward Oglethorpe.
Welcome, General. Let them stand. I think it can honor you to have your words presented.
Very well. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much for having me today. As I look out over all of you, it is sort of like watching a young child who has grown into adulthood. Not quite everything you wanted them to be in some ways, but in other ways, way more than you could ever imagined that they would be. And to think it all began because of a tragic event in my life. A dear friend of mine, Robert Castell, passed away in a debtor's prison of smallpox. When I received the news, I was brokenhearted. I could have saved him. I could have done something, but he was too proud or too embarrassed or whatever to come to me. And as I paced back and forth in my study, I looked up on my wall and I noticed a map that I had recently commissioned of our American colonies. And at the very bottom corner of that map, between our Carolina colonies and the Spanish Florida, there was a vacancy. And I thought, what if, to honor Robert, I could create a new colony in that spot so debtors could go and pay off their debts and live a better life. But I couldn't do it alone. So I went to King George and I received a charter. And I really came close to missing out on that until I told him the colony would of course be named Georgia after him. And George II could not allow a colony to fail with his name on it. But as I walked out of his chambers, I was terrified. I knew absolutely nothing about beginning a colony, so I created a group of trustees, 21 men, to help me organize and create this colony because I wanted it to be something different. In the charter, I forbade any of us from being governor, but you know, sometimes you regret things that you do. While I couldn't be governor officially, I just decided as long as no one else objected, I would take that role, as well as general of the military and whatever else I thought I might need to create a colony. But this was going to be a different colony. There would be no large land grants like the Carolinas and Virginia, where you have large plantations growing. There would be no slavery. It is an abomination against man and should be abolished for all time. There would be no alcohol. When you give men alcohol, they become drunken and lazy and they fight amongst themselves. But most of all, there was one group of people that make their living off of people fighting amongst themselves. There would be no lawyers allowed in Georgia. Having laid that foundation, I must then go find settlers. And to my dismay, as I traveled through the debtors' prisons, I found absolutely no useful skills. They were merchants and businessmen and middlemen, and of course, hundreds of lawyers. I'm sorry, lawyers, it's just the way the world works. But I couldn't carry unskilled people to a new world. It would be a death sentence. Therefore, I couldn't carry the debtors to begin with. I went amongst the trade class and I found coopers and blacksmiths and farmers and all the people that would be needed to build our community. I would come back later and bring the debtors. And that is one of my greatest regrets, is that I was never able to truly do that. But I had settlers, I had a good ship, the Anne, and in 1732, we set sail on the 2-month journey. In 1733, we landed in the Carolinas and we traveled down the coast to the mouth of the Savannah River. And I immediately learned one thing about Savannah. The mosquitoes are large enough to carry away a small child. I exaggerate slightly, but not by much. I knew it would not be a place for a good settlement, so I began sailing up the Savannah River, and to my amazement and delight, I looked up and I saw Yamacraw Bluff. I didn't know the name at the time, but I knew it was the perfect place to build my city. But we had a dilemma. I did not want to just take the land as many others had done from natives, and that's when God sent us a true gift, Mary Musgrove, a tradeswoman who spoke both the native languages and English, and she could make it possible for us to communicate with the chief of the Yamacraw, Tamachichi. And after sitting down with him, we bargained and purchased the land to build my great city on. And Tamachichi became one of my dearest friends and companions and allies. But as soon as I laid out the grid pattern, which had been an idea of my friend Robert, I knew this city was going to be different. I put public squares, I put places where people could not only live and work, but so they could actually enjoy the life they were living. But almost as soon as I began to build my city of Savannah, the Spanish in Florida became a true nuisance. They tried to block the river, they tried to raid our supplies, and I knew we had to put a stop to it. So I led a raid into Florida against the Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine. And this is where my ego got bigger than my army, because we lost terribly. We retreated into Georgia to St. Simon's, and at this point we had stirred up a hornet's nest. The Spanish followed us not long after, and I knew we had to come up with a new plan. I knew the one thing we have in South Georgia more than anything else is swamps. A whole lot of swamps. And so I found the perfect swamp and I set on the ground around it my soldiers, and I sent out a scouting party to harass the Spanish until they followed those soldiers into the middle of that swamp. And when they got bogged down, my men attacked from all sides, and the Battle of Bloody Marsh became a great victory and ended the Spanish threat to the colony forever. Now, when I arrived back in Savannah, I expected parades. I expected a hero's welcome. Instead, they were burning me in effigy. They were cursing my name. I had been away for months, and my colony had changed. They had smuggled alcohol, slaves, And I even saw a few lawyers who worked their way in. I was appalled, and for the next few years, I tried to repair my colony and make it what I wanted. But by 1743, I had had enough. I was being attacked from all sides, court-martialed by the army. I went back to England absolutely frustrated. But thankfully, God gave me another 40 years to watch as Georgia grew and prospered. To my dismay, it did become just another one of those southern colonies. I felt like I had failed, but I also watched it struggle to become a state in the new United States. I watched that nation founded on ideals that I had been talking about my entire life. And in 1785, as I sat thinking about what I wished had happened in Georgia, John Adams came to me and spoke to me. And he said, "James, you didn't fail. We are human beings. We cannot solve every problem we face in one generation. You did everything you could, as I have, to build a foundation for the next generation." And after he said those words, I realized he is right. I did all that I could to give you the best possible place to live, to work, to find God, and to find a better life. But today I leave you with this challenge. You are that next generation. What you build on the foundation we left you is in your hands. I pray that you make the ideals that I created and brought forth in this colony, state, and country a reality for all people, for all time. May God bless your endeavors, and may each and every one of you make this state the greatest state to ever exist. Thank you very much.
Members, you may be seated. Friends in the gallery, you may be seated. General, I think your grand experiment has succeeded.
Thank you so much. I am so proud of all that we have achieved and all that I know you are going to achieve.
This is a great group. This is the people's house. We appreciate you. We appreciate your care for the people. Thank you for what you started here in Georgia, and we look forward to the next generation continuing your work and our work here in this place.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, members.
Thank you very much.
Members, doorkeepers unlock the doors, of course. The general will be in the South Ante room. So will be Brother Bob. And the color guards are going to come around too if you'd like to get a photo this morning as we celebrate this great anniversary, that would be perfectly fine. Representative Newton. Members, just to let you know that we had a little issue in the back. One of our pages got lightheaded, but she's going to be okay. And so just let everyone know that situation is under control. Thank you, Dr. Newton, for responding. Members, our doctor of the day today is brought to us by Representative Betsy Holland, and it's Dr. Erica Gibson. So if you need Dr. Gibson, you know where she is. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wow, what a presentation. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day. There was a note in the journal to remind the gentlemen of this chamber that Saturday is Valentine's Day. But other than that, the journal was accurate and correct. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks for that note. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be establishes the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Members, a lot of excitement this morning, so I want to ask you for your attention as we get ready to do first readers. Thank you, members. First reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1274 by Representative Reeves, the 99th, Lumpson of the 12th, Kelly the 16th, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, and others. Will be titled an act to amend Chapter 9 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to regulation of rates, underwriting rules, and related organizations.
Insurance.
Bill 1275 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Hawkins the 27th, Cooper the 45th, Howell the 50th, Taylor the 173rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 34, Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to medical practice.
Health.
House Bill 1276 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Astration of the 104th, Hawkins of the 27th, Cooper of the 45th, Taylor of the 173rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to public assistance.
Health.
House Bill 1277 by Representative Barton of the 5th, Jaspers of the 11th, Campbell of the 171st, Hagan of the 156th, McDonald of the 26th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 16 to Title 12 and Title 32 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to environmental policy and highways.
Transportation.
House Bill 1278 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Stevens of the 164th, Green of the 154th, Newton of the 127th, Schofield of the 63rd, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 11 and Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to dentists.
Health.
House Bill 1279 by Representative Carson of the 46th, Yurt of the 152nd, Mathis of the 133rd, Cameron of the 1st, Gamble of the 15th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 1 of Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to state sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1280 by Representative Carpenter of the 4th, Ridley of the 6th, Tarvin of the 2nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to equalization of assessments.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1281 by Representative Moptahan of the 17th, Hagan of the 156th, Mathis of the 133rd, Gullett of the 19th, Chastain of the 7th, and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 1A of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to the Department of Early Care and Learning.
Education.
House Bill 1282 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Gunner of the 8th, Hong of the 103rd, Scoggins the 14th, Saints of the 180th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 17.3, 2.1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to exclusions for certain offenses involving a victim under 16 years of age.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1283 by Representative Panich of the 51st, Gunner of the 8th, Hagan of the 156th, Holcomb of the 101st, and Roberts of the 52nd. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 13 of Title 19 and Chapter 16 of Title 17 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to family violence and discovery.
Judiciary Juvenile.
House Bill 1284 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd, Burns of the 159th Parish of the 158th, Irwin of the 32nd, Donatucci the 105th, and others. The bill will be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to local boards of education.
Education.
House Bill 1285 by Representative Chokus of the 151st, Stevens of the 164th, Barrett of the 24th, Williams of the 148th, Hong of the 103rd, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 8 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sales and use taxes.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1286 by Representative McDonald of the 26th, Deloach of the 167th, LaHood of the 175th, Jaspers of the 11th, Williams of the 168th. The bill will be titled an act to amend Title 32, Code Section 48.8.242, and Article 1 of Chapter 39 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to highways, bridges, and ferries.
Transportation.
House Bill 1287 by Representative McDonald of the 26th. The bill will be entitled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 2 of Title 32 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to officers of the Department of Transportation.
Transportation.
House Bill 1288 by Representative Cummings of the 39th, Dawson of the 65th, Flournoy of the 74th, Panich of the 51st, Beckles of the 96th, and others. The bill will be entitled an act to amend Code Section 35.3.161 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to collection of DNA samples.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1289 by Representative Cummings of the 39th, Campbell of the 35th, Dawson of the 65th, Flournoy of the 74th, Beckles of the 96th, and others. The bill will be titled an act to amend Chapter 6 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to sexual offenses.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1290 by Representative Hilton of the 48th, Cooper the 45th, LaHood of the 175th, and Fincher the 23rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 8 of Chapter 5 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to protection of elder persons.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 1291 by Representative Gisler the 121st, Park of the 107th, Douglas the 78th, and Okoye of the 102nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 7 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to income taxes.
Ways and Means.
Senate Bill 400 by Senator Burns the 23rd, Hickman of the 4th, Huffstetler of the 52nd, Payne of the 54th, Dixon of the 45th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1A of Article 7 of Chapter 3, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to non-public post-secondary educational institutions.
Higher Education.
Senate Bill 444 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd, Watson of the 1st, Hodges of the 3rd, Harbison of the 15th, and Walker of the 20th. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 46 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to certification of private review agents.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1262 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Reeves of the 99th, Taylor of the 173rd, Gamble of the 15th, Williamson of the 112th, and others, a bill relating to insurance. House Bill 1263 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Reeves of the 99th, Taylor of the 173rd, Gamble of the 15th, Williamson of the 112th, a bill relating to fees and taxes regarding insurance. House Bill 1264 by Representative Bazemore of the 69th, Buckner of the 137th, McQueen of the 61st, Hughley of the 141st, Cannon of the 58th, a bill relating to medical assistance. House Bill 1265 by Representative McDonald of the 26th, Smith of the 18th, Crow of the 118th, Hitchens of the 161st, Kelly of the 16th, and others, a bill relating to serious traffic offenses. House Bill 1266 by Representative Ridley of the 6th, Rhodes of the 124th, Meeks of the 178th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding registration, operation, and sale of watercraft. House Bill 1267 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Ridley of the 6th, Powell of the 33rd, Mathis of the 133rd, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 1268 by Representative Burchett of the 176th, Leverett of the 123rd, Illustration of the 104th, and Evans of the 57th, a bill to amend the Official Code of Georgia Annotated. House Bill 1269 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Dubnick of the 29th, Jones of the 25th, Paris of the 142nd, Fleming of the 114th, and others, a bill relating to competencies and core curriculum under the Quality Basic Education Act. House Bill 1270 by Representative Hitchens of the 161st, Crow of the 118th, McDonald of the 26th, Lums of the 12th, Werkheiser of the 157th, a bill relating to searches and warrants. House Bill 1271 by Representative Irwin of the 32nd, Townsend of the 179th, Wade of the 9th, Corbett of the 174th, Persing of the 119th, and others, a bill relating to inspection of student records by parent or legal custodians. House Bill 1272 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Hilton of the 48th, Douglas of the 78th, Williamson of the 112th, Mitchell of the 88th, and others, a bill relating to banking and finance. House Bill 1273 by Representative Osteen of the 169th, Green of the 154th, Mathiak of the 82nd, Powell of the 33rd, and Taylor of the 173rd, a bill relating to physician assistants. House Resolution 1298 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Byrd of the 20th, Thomas of the 21st, Parsons of the 44th, Jaspers of the 11th, and others. Resolution honoring the life of Miss Kara Jaden Atkins and dedicating an interchange in her memory. House Resolution 1299 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Tarvin of the 2nd, Estration of the 104th, Gaines of the 120th, Clark of the 100th. A resolution expressing support for dissolving the United States Department of Education and restoring educational authority to the states. House Resolution 1300 by Representative Ford of the 170th, Cannon of the 172nd, Hatchett of the 155th, Jones of the 47th, Green of the 154th, and others. A resolution recognizing the Honorable Penny Houston, dedicating a roundabout in her honor. Senate Bill 384 by Senator Hatchett of the 50th, Goodman of the 8th, Burns of the 23rd, Eccles of the 49th, Williams of the 25th, and others, a bill relating to motor vehicles emission inspection and maintenance and motor vehicles and traffic. Senate Bill 435 by Senator Goodman of the 8th, Watson of the 11th, Anderson of the 24th, Sims of the 12th, Summers of the 13th, and others, a bill to rename the Georgia Development Authority as the Georgia Agricultural Development Authority. Through second readers.
I see several high-level conversations going on, solving problems not only in Georgia, but around the world. So how about take them out to the any room? Reports of standing committees, Mr. Clerk will read.
Representative Josh Bonner, of the 73rd District, Chairman of the Committee on Defense and Veteran Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Defense and Veteran Affairs has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1087 do pass. House Bill 1184 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Josh Bonner, of the 73rd District, Chairman. Representative Chris Irwin of the 32nd District, Chairman of the Committee on Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Education has had under its consideration the following bills and resolution in the House, and has instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendations. House Bill 1193 do pass by substitute. House Resolution 145 do pass by substitute. House Bill 310 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chris Irwin of the 32nd District, Chairman. Representative Trey Rhodes of the 124th District, Chairman of the Committee on Games, Fish, and Parks, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Game, Fish, and Parks has had under its consideration following bills of the House and Senate. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1266 do pass. Senate Bill 420 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Trey Rhodes of the 124th District, Chairman. Representative Victor Anderson of the 10th District, Chairman of the Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 913 do pass. House Bill 1066 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1130 do pass. House Bill 1133 do pass. House Bill 1180 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Victor Anderson of the 10th District, Chairman. Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman of the Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Higher Education has had under its consideration following bills of the House, and instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 385 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 419 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 541 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman. Representative Lauren McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination and Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination and Locals had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 935 do pass. House Bill 966 do pass. House Bill 1005 do pass. House Bill 1090 do pass. House Bill 1139 do pass. House Bill 1155 do pass. House Bill 1169 do pass. House Bill 1170 do pass. House Bill 1172 do pass. House Bill 1203 do pass. House Bill 1258 do pass. House Bill 1067 do pass. House Bill 1200 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Lauren McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman. Representative Camp of the 135th District, Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary Juvenile, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary Juveniles had under its consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to with the following recommendations. House Bill 943 do pass by substitute. House Bill 1061 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Camp of the 135th District, Chairman. Representative Lynn Smith of the 70th District, Chairman of the Committee on Natural Resources and Environment, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Natural Resources and Environment has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 320 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Lynn Smith of the 70th District, Chairman. Representative Clint Crow of the 118th District, Chairman of the Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Public Safety and Homeland Security has had under its consideration the following bills and resolutions of the House. Instruct the committee to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 967 do pass. House Bill 1128 do pass. House Bill 1161 do pass. House Resolution 1243 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Clint Crowe, the 118th District Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Members, that completes our third reading. Standing committee reports. I'm sorry. Members, we have a couple of friends who've come back to visit with us. I want to introduce them to you right now. One of them is a gentleman I served with and have continued to be friends with over the years. Up in Forsyth County, I think, is that right? I thought so. Representative Mark Morris. Let's make former Representative Mark Morris, welcome back to the People's House. And looking at afar is another gentleman that served with distinction in this House, Representative Josh Clark. Let's make Josh welcome. Come on up, Josh. Members, we do have a local calendar this morning. We do have a local calendar. Two bills on this local calendar relate to homestead exemption and require a recorded two-thirds roll call vote for passage. Members, if you'll come to the chamber, two bills will require a two-thirds recorded vote because they deal with homestead exemption. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar?
House Bill 935 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd Thomas County. House Bill 966 by Representative Westbrook of the 163rd City of Garden City. House Bill 1005 by Representative Wilkerson of the 38th City of Austell. House Bill 1090 by Representative Corbett of the 174th Eccles County. House Bill 1139 by Representative Camp of the 135th Spalding County. House Bill 1155 by Representative Ford of the 170th Tift County. House Bill 1169 by Representative Camp of the 135th Spalding County. House Bill 1170 by Representative Camp of the 135th Spalding County. House Bill 1172 by Representative Camp of the 135th Spalding County. House Bill 1203 by Representative Stevens of the 164th Chatham County. House Bill 1258 by Representative Reese of the 140th Muskogee County. House Bill 1067 by Representative Smith of the 138th City of West Point. And House Bill 1200 by Representative Stevens of the 164th City of Savannah, Chatham County.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee? which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? All members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machines on the passage of the local calendar. The yeas are 158, the nays are 0. These bills having received the requisite constitutional majority are therefore passed. Before we move on to morning orders this morning, and again, we have a lot of friends in the gallery, so I want y'all to start thinking about how you can recognize our guests from around the state. Do it completely, but do it succinctly and do it rapidly. Before we do that, I want to recognize one more person to bring us a part of our history. That we had our color guard this morning. The commander of our state color guard is, what rank are you, sir?
We'll use general.
Let's just go with general. So we're going to recognize General Scott Collins, the commander of our state color guard. He's going to tell us the significance of our flag that we pledge allegiance to this morning, that we have right here. Scott? Stay on that, right?
Yeah, but as you may have noticed, we had one of the flags that went straight up that was not the 50-star flag that you have posted here in the gallery. We do have today, this is the Francis Hopkinson flag. Francis Hopkinson designed this flag in 1776. If you'll notice, it has a 13 six-pointed stars. It is the first flag that there is written documentation that it was approved by the Second Continental Congress. All flags before this one are considered battle flags. This is our first official flag of what was then the United Colonies that later became the United States of America. And Mr. Speaker, I had the honor of commanding the National Society Sons of the American Revolution at the Battle of Lexington and Concord this past April. We had about 300 members in that color guard, and we've brought back a challenge coin from the Lexington and Concord battle, and I would like to present that to you for your honor.
Thank you, Commander. And I'd like to present you a coin as well, my challenge coin.
Thank you very
so
much.
much. And tell us who this young man is right here. Why don't you come introduce yourself?
No, you're good at speaking.
Thank you. Well, my name is Noah Tyndall. This year I'm the Georgia State President of the Children of the American Revolution. We are the nation's oldest and largest youth patriotic organization. I just want to give a huge thank you to Commander Scott Collins for all the many amazing ways that he helps supports us. And I want to thank you guys for all the many amazing ways that you inspire our children. Thank you.
And one last point.
Sure.
If I could. I would also like to invite this coming weekend in Lincolnton, Georgia. We have an anniversary of the Heroes of the Hornet's Nest. On Saturday, we have a program in Washington, Georgia for commemorating the Battle of Kettle Creek. And a few weeks later, there will be a commemoration of the Battle of Briar Creek down above Sylvania. So there's 3 Revolutionary War. If you get the new Georgia tag, those little stars that are on the tag stand for each one of these battles. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Mr. Speaker,
Commander.
thank you.
We all know that a story seldom told is soon forgotten. Thank you for helping us tell our story and remembering our story. We appreciate y'all being here today. We're going to hear about our moment in black history. Representative Cannon's just outside the door. Absolutely, she's walking in through the South Anteroom. Good morning, Representative Park Cannon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, give the lady in the well your attention, please, as she brings us our moment in black history. You're fine. Make sure you get the right sheet. We don't want you talking about something else that may be on your mind. Do you need a minute? We can do something else if you need a minute. Representative Holland, you ready for your morning order? We'll give you about a minute. Does that work? Representative Betsy Holland is recognized for a morning order.
Good morning, colleagues. Every single person in this room knows someone whose life has been impacted by suicide. I'm going to say that again. Every single person in this room knows someone whose life has been impacted by suicide. And if you think that I'm wrong, I think it's less likely that I'm wrong and more likely that the pervasive culture of shame and discomfort around suicide in our society prevents us from talking about it and the ways that we can prevent it. 1.5 million Americans attempted suicide each year. Men are 4 times more likely to die of suicide than women. 68% of people who die by suicide are white men. More than half of deaths by suicide are caused by firearms. We have an opportunity to work together to prevent suicide deaths. 91% of Americans believe that suicide is preventable in at least some cases. And I would like to recognize the Georgia chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is here with us today. I don't know if they're in the chamber or out in the ropes, but I want to recognize that they're here with us and commend to all of you to listen to their messages as they meet with you today. Thank you.
Representative Park Cannon is recognized for our moment in black history. Representative Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members. I am so excited about this photo that we're sharing today. It's about the Company 1433 project. This is actually elevating the legacy of Civilian Conservation Corps. They were the first known all-black unit stationed in Georgia's Okefenokee region, and they helped to bring natural landscapes here to Georgia. During the 30s and 40s, these Corps members constructed roads, trails, and made infrastructure that enabled the tourism, scientific research, and regional commerce that we experience today. This work is now under a grant project here in the state of Georgia that will be ending shortly at the end of this year. But what it is doing is it is showing the impact that Georgia had on national conservation corps, to which Georgia hosted 127 CCC camps, of which 19 were African American camps, and the 13 companies of those Corps workers is the largest number of any state in America. Research has shown their project had activity in Fort Benning, Fort Oglethorpe, Washington, Perry, Cuesta, Buena Vista, Americus, Monticello, and Waynesville. And today we're just excited and grateful for the work of the project manager, Jennifer, and the archivist, Jess, who are bringing this information to the public. Congratulations again to Company 1433 Project, and I hope that you will go to company1433.com to learn more about the project. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're not here.
Representative Ballard, Chairman Blackman. Houston County, we're going to talk about y'all's home folks here. They're recognized there in the gallery. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I ask that you join us in extending a warm welcome to the Robbins Regional Chamber Youth Leadership. We are delighted that these outstanding students are here joining us for the day and spending time with us. They are from all over Houston County, and they have stood there in the gallery for us to welcome. So if you would help me welcome them.
And other friends up front from Houston County. I left a few out there, but welcome. We're glad y'all are here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield
Hope
the
y'all have had a good day so far. Safe travels when y'all head back. We appreciate your engagement. Representative Patty Stinson's recognized for a morning order.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. It's a beautiful day in Georgia. Yes, it is. And I'm glad to be standing here with my colleagues as we recognize the Georgia Association of School Psychologists. They are in the gallery. If they would please stand. Colleagues of yours, please stand and address and welcome the Georgia Association of School Psychologists. And their goal is for all children and youth to access the learning, behavior, and mental health support needed to thrive in school, at home, and throughout life. And we're so very proud to have Brandon Parks, president of the Georgia Association of School Psychologists and a proud resident of Americus, Georgia, in the 150th district. He's also a service coordinator of the Chattahoochee Flint and Risa in Ellaville, where he has proudly served for he serves for 17 public schools in the area. So welcome, Mr. Parks, and all of the school psychologists. We're glad to have you here visiting your state capital. We thank you for the work that you do serving children across the state of Georgia. Thank you. May God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Stinson. I can't add to that other than say thank you for your work. You're very, very important at what you're doing. Thank you very, very much. Representative Denia, Representative Ali, and the Gwinnett delegation, the Snellville Youth Council is here. Gwinnett delegation.
All right, come on, Gwinnett
Give them just a second, Representative. They'll be here. They're on the way. Gwinnett delegation, Representative Clark, I'll be here in just a second. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I'd like to welcome the Snellville Youth Council. If you can please stand. A group of outstanding young leaders who represent the future of our communities and our state. Your commitment to civic engagement, public service, and your leadership in organizing important community events like the Snellville's Juneteenth celebration demonstrate the impact young people can make. This building is where important decisions are made to shape our future. I encourage you to learn, ask questions, and see yourself as future leaders. Talking about future leaders.
Don't you mean current leader, Mr. Dane?
Yes, but you're the future. You're the future.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members of this House. Not long ago, I was invited to meet the Youth Commission and to see their work in the various Snellville festivals we have. And I was invited by none other than our very own Councilwoman, Rochelle Brown, who is in attendance as well. Please give her a round of applause. And in short, the wisdom, the drive, and the willingness to serve our community in the city of Snellville was beyond their years, and I know will stick with them in the coming years as well. Thank you for being here in the People's House, and know that its doors will always be open to you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And we have a resolution that we're going to present to you later today at 1:30. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We yield the will.
Thanks for being here today with us. We appreciate y'all. Thanks, members. Chairman Stevens, Green, Parrish, going to talk about it's a pretty cool spot, and others that will join you.
Thank you. Yes,
He's going to talk about something I think all of us have enjoyed over the years. Makes Georgia, another reason Georgia is such a very special place. Chairman Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, believe it or not, time flies, as you can tell with the gray hair up here. But 20 years ago, we had an amazing gift to the state of Georgia through the city of Atlanta. We had one of our philanthropists around there started Home Depot. His name's Bernie Marcus. Donated 20 years ago the aquarium to our great state, the Georgia Aquarium. We've got some folks upstairs that are here to help us celebrate the 20 years along with a great resolution. Would you help welcome these folks from the Georgia Aquarium as we celebrate 20 years of this amazing tourism attraction? Stand up. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thanks to Mr. Marcus. That has been a wonderful investment, not only for Georgia, but for young people and adults around the world that have visited. Chairlady Camp is recognized some pretty special folks around the state.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Today is CASA Day at the Capitol. CASA volunteers are from each of our communities, and they provide continuity in otherwise uncertain times and are often the one consistent adult in a child's life when they're out of home and in foster care. We commend the 2,500 CASA volunteers, 250 staff, and 500 board members who coordinate care and compassion for these children in difficult times. Today, we welcome 200 advocates at all levels of the CASA network. Please rise to welcome them. We have some in our gallery today. Thank you for what you do protecting the children in Georgia. Thank you.
They're over on the left. Hey, we appreciate CASA, appreciate y'all. You help a lot of folks. We appreciate you. Thank you. Representative Bazemore, you by yourself, you usually have friends with you.
I'm going to call them in a minute.
You're going to she has friends as well.
Yes. So anyone that has Georgia Democratic Federation of Democrats in your district, please come up. Federation of Democratic Women.
Lady will suspend just for a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Leader. I'm getting it all messed up. Mr. Speaker. Oh, Lord. Okay.
Lady, proceed.
They're coming. Okay. So today, and I'm looking for the women, I hope some are in the audience or in the gallery, but help me to welcome the Georgia Federation of Democratic Women. They are a Georgia chapter of the National Federation of Democratic Women. NFDW was founded in 1971, and it is the Democratic National Committee's official women's organization. Many of Georgia's counties and/or congressional districts have chapters in GFDW. All of us which are dedicated to encouraging greater participation of women in the political process. GFDW members believe in the enduring power of women and work to ensure that its members' rights and privileges are protected and voices are never silenced. They strive to provide an inclusive and supportive environment for all women, regardless of race, religion, or social background. So if they're here, please stand, and if you're not, let's just give them a hand because they're in the house somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Chairman Werkheiser is recognized to make a recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Angie, if you're here. So Angie Osteen and I would like to welcome leadership Jeff Davis. If y'all would stand. There, Perry Oakley, who's the Industrial Development Authority guy, who does an incredible job, has brought some of Jeff Davis's best and brightest leaders. Thank y'all for being here at your state capitol. If you'd please help me recognize them. And if I could, on this historic day, on behalf of Al Williams and myself, we just want to remind you on the pledge, there is no comma between one nation and under God. It's one nation under God. Thank you.
Y'all lower your voice when y'all do the pledge. I'm saying it the right way. There is a comma in my mind. I can't erase it. I can't erase it. Jeff Davis, thanks. Good to have y'all in Atlanta. Safe travels back home. Appreciate y'all being here. Representative Cummings. Representative Roberts. Oh, excuse me. I didn't see Representative Cummings on the way. Representative Cummings.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome the students from Pebblebrook High School and South Cobb High School. They're visiting us today for Mableton Student Government Day. If you are here, please stand to be welcomed. Everybody give them a round of applause.
Right in the gallery. Welcome.
Thank you. I yield the well.
We appreciate you recognizing them. Good to have y'all with us. Hope y'all having a good day and enjoying this state capitol. Representative Shay Roberts and friends.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Give them a second. Give them a second. Now we're ready. Ladies,
Colleagues,
recognized.
today I'm proud to announce that it is New Americans Day at the Capitol. Georgia has a long history of welcoming people from around the world and giving them the opportunity to live, work, and thrive here. Today, more than 1.2 million Georgians, about 11% of our population, are foreign-born. They contribute $15.8 billion in federal, state, and local taxes each year and represent more than $44 billion in spending power in our economy. Nearly 1 in 7 workers in Georgia is foreign-born, filling critical high-demand jobs, including healthcare roles like home health aides, physicians, and surgeons. They are also 41% more likely to start a business and make up more than 20% of our entrepreneurs here in Georgia. We are honored today to welcome members of the CSRA Community Advisory Council, led by Maria Yatsko, who is originally from Ukraine. Thank you so much for your work bringing together refugees, immigrants, and community members to ensure the voices of new Americans are heard and meaningfully included in shaping Georgia's future. Thanks.
Representative Doreen Carter is recognized for morning order.
Good morning. Today we have visiting with us Leadership Rockdale. Leadership Rockdale is a program of the Conyers-Rockdale Chamber of Commerce, which provides a learning experience for current and emerging leaders of Rockdale County. Participants of the program are given the opportunity to develop an understanding of the promises and challenges facing Conyers and Rockdale County and the diversity of the county and the region. The program is designed to be an educational experience. Please join me as they stand in the gallery, members of Leadership Rockdale, class of 2026, and they will tell you that they are the best class ever. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you.
Chairman Chokas, recognized for a morning order. Representative Olaye is, and friends will be there on deck. Representative Chokas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to recognize a group of students from Sly County High School. Hey guys, y'all stand up, stand up. These students are the AP Government and the Student Council students at Sly County High. They're accompanied by Keith Skipper, Courtney Reed, and Tiffany McGlung. I want to add that Sly County is academically ranked number 6 in the state and is the only public school in the top 10 not in an urban area. Thank you for coming and visiting your capital. Go Wildcats! Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Smart, good looking, and good athletes. Can't beat that combination. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for traveling up. I know it's a journey. Representative Alaye and friends. Give the gentleman in the well your attention, please. Give him just
Thank
a second,
you, Mr.
Phil.
Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today is After School Day at the Capitol. It's a day organized by Katie Landis and the Georgia Statewide After School Network. They bring together dozens of after school and summer learning enrichment programs who serve our community's children and help put them on a path for success both in career and life. And we have quite a few groups here this morning with us. The Lift Youth Center, Pure Love Learning Center, Jared's Heart of Success, the Soul Learning Center, the Forsyth County Parks and Rec, Boys and Girls Club, Los Niños Primero, APEC Family Foundation. That's right. Girls Inc., Yales Inc., Change Your Story, Mercy Housing, Georgia Association of YMCAs, and my personal favorite, my own team, Next Generation Men and Women. Can you please rise and be recognized? Thank you so much for all that you do for our children. And Mr. Speaker, if I may, there's a young lady, a former middle school educator and a principal consultant who supports the Georgia Statewide After School Network, who could not be with us this morning. She ran into some childcare trouble. My wife is watching. Sabrina, I love you, baby. Thank you for all that you do, and happy early Valentine's Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
If I didn't have a beautiful wife too, I'd rule you out of order on those comments. But hey, you have to do what you have to do, don't you, Representative Alaye? No doubt, you did good. Welcome to the People's House. Thanks for what y'all do as well. We appreciate y'all. Thanks. Chairman Hilton recognized for a morning order. Please give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Georgia Boaters Day here at the Capitol. If my friends with the boaters would stand, they may not still be here. There they are. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. In Georgia, we have 70,000 miles of river, 4 million acres of wetland, and it brings in 174 million visitors each year. Floating down Georgia's streams has been an important part of our state's culture and economy since the inception of Georgia as a colony. Let's celebrate our rivers, our outdoors, our recreation. Thank you to our boaters who are up there. Give them a big round of applause again. Thank you so much.
Big part of whom we are, our rivers. Thank y'all for what y'all caring about our rivers and caring about recreation for our people. Representative Reese, the gentleman's recognized. Are you ready? The gentleman's recognized for morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today we rise to recognize Founders Day of the NAACP and the NAACP Day here at the state capitol. Whereas the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is celebrating its 117th Founders Day, recognizing their commitment to justice, equality, and upliftment of African Americans. And whereas the founding of the NAACP on February the 12th, 1909 was a pivotal moment in American history, sparked by a call to action led by Mary White Overton, Oswald Garrison Villard, William English Welling, and Dr. Henry McCoswick, all descendants of famous abolitionists. Today we celebrate the NAACP in the state of Georgia. We welcome the NAACP to the state capitol, and we encourage all of our colleagues to join us and welcome them today. So if NAACP, if you're in the gallery right now, please stand and be recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for that recognition. Let's see, we want to recognize Miss Woodley Franklin, and I think her dad's bringing her, so we'll let him be her escort. Representative Lehman Franklin is going to tell you a story about Miss Woodley.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate you allowing me to do this in the morning because, as you can see, I got a volatile situation here, and she seems to be pretty happy right now, but I can guarantee you the Kraken can come out when she wants to. So. But she's being very sweet. But colleagues, friends, I want to introduce you to Miss Woodley Wren Franklin. And she is a little over 8 months into this world. And I think she's doing pretty good. But I want to mention, you remember last session we all came together and we voted on the IVF bill. And every single person in this chamber, every one of us voted for it. It was a unanimous vote. I don't know how often that happens, but at the time I thought that was an amazing, amazing thing. But we all came together to be able to allow other Georgian families to be able to have the blessings and joy that Lori and I have right now. So I just want to thank you for that, because it's made a completely amazing change in our lives and a blessing that we'll never be able to repay. So thank you so much for that. And I just want to say one more thing, if I can, that, when I look at her all the time, but when I look into her eyes, I'm reminded of God's promises and his plans. And it says in the Bible that the plans that he had for her were before, he had them before the creation of time and before this world even existed. And he has a purpose for her in the same way. So before she even became a thought, he had the plans for her. And it's the same way for all of us in this room too. He has a plan for me, a purpose for me, a purpose for you, and a plan for you. And I like to think that he's got a plan for us collectively as well. And if we can come together and do something like this, something so beautiful for Georgia like this, it gives me great faith that we can do it again. Maybe in this session or the sessions that come, but I have great faith that we'll be able to do that. So on behalf of me, I want to thank you. My wife, I thank you. And if Willie could thank you, I know she would do it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, members. It gets no better than that. What a beautiful child. And let's also make Lori Franklin welcome, the part of that family that holds them together. Lori Franklin, glad to have you as well. Members, if you will give the Representative David Clark. Members, I need your attention. Representative Todd Jones, some other friends, Representative Donatucci. Members, if you'll stand with these representatives and myself. Doorkeepers, if you'll keep the traffic down just for a minute. If you want to come in, members in the ante room, come on in. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to my colleagues, I rise today to present two House resolutions honoring the lives of Joshua and Jacob Cardello. These resolutions have been adopted, but today we pause to honor the men behind the names. Josh and Jacob were beloved sons, brothers, men of deep faith, and examples of integrity and character beyond their years. Both played at Buford High School, one of the Georgia's elite football programs. They were also ranked #1 in the nation last year. Both played there, and also Josh was a 3-time state champion. He went on to play at the University of Georgia. He blocked for Aaron Murray at UGA. Josh was a devoted husband to Allison and a proud father to his daughter Amelia. His love for his family defined him above all else. In 2001, the Cardello family suffered the tragic loss of Jacob to sudden cardiac arrest at just 23 years old. Then on January 5th, 2026, at the age of 30, Josh also passed away from sudden cardiac arrest while playing a pickup basketball game. Following Jacob's passing, Josh dedicated his professional life to honoring his brother's memory. As his father shared, he became a true patient advocate committed to serving those living with cardiovascular disease, understanding firsthand the burden it places on families through his work and partnership, including life-saving youth heart screenings in Gwinnett County. Josh turned grief into purpose, saving lives. Jacob, a proud University of Georgia graduate and Delta Sigma Phi brother, he inspired others through his character, kindness, and service. He showed us that impact is measured not in the years, but in how you live them. To Jay and Carrie, thank you for raising two remarkable young men who left a profound impact on so many. Their faith, integrity, and love for others reflect the foundation you gave them. Through these two House resolutions, the state of Georgia honors Josh and Jacob Cordello. Their lives mattered, their legacy endures, and their memory will not be forgotten. If you could all help me welcome the Cordello family and friends, and thank you for the two amazing young men that you raised. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the well.
Thank you, members. To the Cordello family, thanks for being here. Y'all know what we know, and you're doing it. A story seldom told is soon forgotten. So continue to tell Josh and Jacob's story. I'm glad we've been reminded of it today. And thank you for the contributions you're making to other families so they will not have to go through what y'all have gone through. So thank you very much. God bless you all, and thank you for being here with us today. Thank you. Thank you, members. I know we've had a lot of important issues this morning so far, a lot of important recognitions, but none more important than that. We're going to move on to the rules calendar. Move on to the rules calendar. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Resolution 999?
House Resolution 999 by Representative Cox of the 28th and others, a resolution urging all Georgia citizens, cities, and counties to remember and honor the sacredness of America's 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 2026. This resolution has been referred to the Committee on Special Rules. That committee recommends that this resolution be adopted.
Representative Brent Cox is recognized to present Resolution 999.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After hearing what we just heard from the young gentleman that passed away, it reminds me of many stories that have happened from Representative Buckner, the history that you've also shared, and those two gentlemen are part of the history of Georgia as well. And when I heard Oglethorpe and some of the stories that he told this morning, and we all have heard, it leads me to some other history that has also happened in this country. We also have a president's birthday that's today, Abraham Lincoln. Critical time in U.S. history. James Oglethorpe, critical time is us becoming a colony. But none as important as 250 years ago, for July the 4th of 1776. And there's many in this place here that it has actually served. And to each person that has served this country, I personally would like to say, as I know the other members of the General Assembly, thank you for what you've done for this country. We believe in you, and we're thankful for all that you have said and done. There was another thing I heard about Oglethorpe, and he said this was a debtor's prison. So, Mr. Speaker, I find it ironic that in 2026, maybe We can end property tax, which sometimes feels like that's a debtor's prison to each one of us. So maybe we can come together as a house, and let's end that in this 2026. I have a gentleman who is going to be speaking. I don't have Oglethorpe, but he's pretty close. He's going to be speaking on this bill, and this is the dean of the House. It's the closest I could get to Oglethorpe. But I would like to yield for any questions that you all may have, ask you your favorable consideration, and look forward to hearing your presentation as well.
Gentleman has no questions, but I want to thank you for bringing this resolution.
Thank you
very much. You have no questions.
Thank you.
Dean of this House, Chairman Gerald Green, is recognized to speak to the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know what I know. It is a great day to be a Georgian. I rise to support House Resolution 999 by Representative Cox. As we look toward July the 4th, 2026, we approach a moment unlike any other in our lifetime, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. 250 years ago, a bold and courageous decision was made that changed the course of history. A new nation was declared, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the principle that all men are created equal. And Georgia played a vital role in that founding. 3 brave sons of our state, Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, and George Walton, affixed their names to the Declaration. And by doing so, they risked everything, their fortunes, their families, and their very lives. And they were not merely signing a document, they were signing a pledge of sacrifice and faith in a future they could not yet see, but deeply believed in. Georgia was the youngest of the 13 colonies at that time, yet we stood shoulder to shoulder with our sister colonies in declaring independence from tyranny. And our state's commitment to liberty helped secure the freedoms we cherish today. And as we approach the historic 250th anniversary, I urge every citizen across our great state, from the mountains of North Georgia to the coast of Savannah, from our small towns like Cuthbert, Georgia, to our largest cities, to remember, to reflect, and to celebrate. This is not just a national milestone, it is Georgia's milestone. It is our history. Let July the 4th, 2026 be a day when we honor those who signed with courage, when we teach our children the meaning of freedom, and when we renew our commitment to the principles that built this nation: faith, liberty, personal responsibility, and the rule of law. May we come together as Georgians and Americans to celebrate 250 years of independence. Let us remember the sacrifice of so many individuals that have gone before. Let us honor the legacy, and let us commit ourselves to preserving freedom for the next 250 years. I ask each of you to support and vote for House Resolution 999. And I want to see a complete green board. God bless each of you. God bless Georgia, and God bless the United States. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
You have a question from one of our founders. Oh. I apologize. You have a gentleman yields for a question? A gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I do.
Chairman Deloach, on your right, has a question.
I did, in fact, want to mention some of those founders. Isn't it true, Dean Green, that 2 of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were from Liberty County, and hence the name of the county?
You are so correct, and that is something that I hope all Georgia children and adults hear this morning. Thank you for that question. Mr. Speaker, if there are no other questions, I yield the well.
You have no further questions, gentlemen. Yielded the well. Chairman DeLoach, I apologize. You're a great patriot, and you know a little bit about our history, and you've offered great service not only to Liberty County and your county, McIntosh County, but to our state. Thank you. You're a great American. But if you can't have a little fun while you're working, why work, right? That's what I'm talking about. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the adoption of the resolution? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this resolution now be adopted? All in favor of the adoption of the resolution will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. For what purpose does Representative Stinson rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that the city of Oglethorpe, Georgia, which is named after General James Oglethorpe, is in Macon County, Georgia, in Georgia House District 150? Is that not true?
I'll look it up, but I bet the lady's probably pretty accurate. No, that is absolutely true, and that's a great tribute.
Thank you.
To our general who was here this morning, so we're appreciative of that. Have all members now voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine on the passage of House Resolution 999? The yeas are 162, the nays are 0. This resolution, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore adopted. You can never hear it too often. Our motto, that in the founding of Georgia, not for ourselves, but for others. Let's don't forget it. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 998?
House Bill 998 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd and others being titled an act to amend Article 4, Chapter 5 of Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to telecommunications and competition development, so as to authorize certain Tier 2 local exchange companies to elect to become subject to the rate of return regulation. This bill having referred to the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
The gentleman from Elbert County, Representative Chairman Rob Leverett, is recognized to present House Bill 998.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Bill 998 would basically continue in effect the Universal Access Program and the Universal Access Fund, which are maintained by the Public Service Commission. They currently are scheduled to expire in 2030. This would continue them till 2040. This program is essential to the provision of accessible and affordable basic telephone service in a lot of our rural communities and areas where the economics don't support provision of a lot of telephone service because everybody's spread out and there's so few people per mile. This program has worked extremely well. It's been around for about 30 years, but there's still not cell service everywhere. People out in rural Georgia need this. Without this program, they don't have a landline that they can use to call 911. and they can't get cell service where they are. Many of you are aware of that. We've done a great job of getting cell service throughout a lot of Georgia, but there's still areas where it's not there. This is essential to make sure we have a very robust and geographically robust area and that everybody can take part in our telecommunications system. So I would encourage you to vote in favor of this bill to continue that program for an additional 10 years to 2040. We've, based on some concerns that have been expressed, we've placed a lot of guardrails in place on the program, limiting the distributions each year, requiring audits statutorily, limiting the companies that can opt in, because we are opening it back up for companies to opt in. And then we're also requiring that the PSC submit reports every 2 years on the status of this fund. So I can't emphasize how essential this is to the provision of basic phone service throughout the state. Hope you will vote in favor of it. It's been suggested I not be as long-winded as I usually am because it's a Friday, so I'm trying to comply, and I'll be glad to stand for any questions.
The gentleman has a couple of questions. At least, no, he has one question. Representative Mike Cameron, to your right, is recognized for a question. Representative Cameron.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I'll yield.
Isn't it true that this bill helps my district, like in Dade County, Georgia, where there's rural areas, including mountains, where without this, a lot of places wouldn't have service?
I think that's absolutely true, and I appreciate you making that point.
Chairman has one more question, and then we do have a speaker in favor of the bill. Chairman Meeks, to your right, extreme right. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Is it not true, gentlemen, that I have 2 rural telephone companies in the area which I live, one in Brantley County that I used to represent and one in Bacon County, and this is extremely important to those telephone companies?
That is absolutely true, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that question.
Is it not further true, if you'll yield for one more question,
absolutely,
that one of these 2 companies actually before the internet service before any state funds were put out there for internet to be put across the counties, that one of these 2 companies coated their entire county with internet service without any help?
I'm sure that is true, and that just shows the kind of service we're trying to facilitate.
Gentleman has no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask your favorable consideration of House Bill 998, and thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. Representative Al Williams, down in Liberty County, metropolis of Darien, is recognized to speak to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, Savannah is a bedroom community of Midway, so I rise in support of this bill that means so much to so many. We certainly thank Chairman Leverett for his work on this bill. These are the people that you won't see the television commercials about. They're just rural Georgians who, in many instances, as was stated, has limited cell service. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth on this. I think compromises have been made so that everybody's happy. But it's not often that those of us in the shrinking rural Georgia gets to come and ask you to remember that we're there too. Give us a little help. We need this. The very survival of many of our independent phone companies depend on this. Thank you so much, and we urge you for your support on this bill. Thank you very kindly, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the well. Thank you.
The gentleman's yielded the well. And I apologize, Representative Williams. I meant the metropolis of Midway. Much bigger than Darien, yes, no doubt. That completes our discussion on House Bill 998. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee offered by the Committee on Rules? Hearing none, the Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 998, the yeas are 161, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. For what purpose is Representative Jason Ridley rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State that inquiry.
I was just going to check and see if, since two of my colleagues voted no on that bill, if they was going to get me some soup cans and a string for some people back home.
They tell me you can communicate that way. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 983?
House Bill 983 by Representative Hagan and the 156 and others, to be entitled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 12 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to forest resources, so as to clarify that prescribed burning for silviculture purposes is exempt from certain burning notice and permit requirements. This bill having referred to the Committee on Natural Resources and Environment, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Chair recognizes Chair Lady Hagan to present this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, House Bill 983 is new language and amended language brought at the request of the Georgia Forestry Commission to more clearly define prescribed burning, what it is, and that it is confined to a specific predetermined area. We need this to reduce confusion for our cities, our counties, and our property owners regarding what prescribed burning is. Our forests are an important part of Georgia's economy, our quality of life, and Georgia's wildlife, and this new language will help make them stronger than they are even today. So I would ask for your favorable consideration, and Mr. Speaker, I'd be happy to answer a question if there is one.
There's a couple, we have at least one question. Representative Chaz Cannon to your right, who understands these practices. Welcome the gentleman's question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I do.
Is it not true that what sets our state apart, particularly from other Western states, is our relatively easy, efficient process to get a prescribed fire burn permit?
That's exactly right. It's the reason why when we do have the, wildfires in our state, they're typically very quickly contained with minimal loss to property or life, because we do have a healthy prescribed burning program in this state, and also just the fact that our commission, our DNR, and our local first responders are so quick to take care of fires when they happen.
Lady has no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask your favorable consideration on this bill.
Thank you for the presentation. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, unlock the machine, please. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of House Bill 983, the yeas are 162, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 948?
House Bill 948 by Representative Camp of the 135th and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 14 to Title 44 and Chapter 4 Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to mortgages, conveyances, secured debt, and liens and tax sales. This bill having referred to the Committee on Judiciary, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair Lady Beth Camp is recognized to present House Bill 948.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. The description of this bill sounded kind of complicated, but it's not. The worst time a person can have in their home ownership is when they become foreclosed. In this situation, someone in my district brought a challenge. They were foreclosed and they were not aware of how to look for and possibly obtain excess funds that were left over after the foreclosure. So what this bill does is it creates more disclosure in the foreclosure documents, so an individual will know if there are excess funds after the foreclosure, how to get that money back, and the process in which to do it. Again, it's a very challenging time in anyone's life when they're being foreclosed, but hopefully understanding if there is money available to them that they have the recourse to get it back. And Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Lady will hold just for a minute.
Okay.
Lady has no questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask for members' favorable consideration. Thank you.
Amazing job. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 948, the yeas are 161, the nays are 0. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 195?
Senate Bill 195 by Senator Huffstetler, the 52nd, and others to be entitled Act to amend Article 6 of Chapter 4, Title 26 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to pharmacies, so as to provide that pharmacists are authorized to dispense pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis under certain conditions. This bill having referred to the Committee on Health, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Chairman Newton will present the bill. We have a couple of speakers that will speak in favor of the bill. So at this time, we will recognize Chairman Mark Newton to present Senate Bill 195. Give the gentleman the well your attention, please. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We get some good work from across the way over there sometimes. Senate Bill 195 actually helps us address a serious health challenge in Georgia. Of all the 50 states, we like to look at our ranking as 8th largest in all. Well, we're 50th when it comes to new HIV diagnoses a year in Georgia, which is over 2,500. The good news is there's a lot of preventive medications now available, if we can get them to people, that can cost as little as $26 a month. Treatment of just one infection with HIV can cost $420,000 to over $1 million a year. So I want to see us look at this. SB 195 recognizes another fact, and that's our pharmacies, and pharmacists are often much more approachable and available and accessible than our physicians are. So what SB 195 does, it allows physicians to enter a protocol agreement with up to 10 pharmacists, and that will then allow those pharmacists to directly see the patients that come to them, and after they've received a training program, they can then, after the pharmacists have been trained, they can review the risks and benefits of these new medications and then be able to directly dispense or provide pre-exposure prophylaxis or post-exposure prophylaxis, which helps prevent HIV. So I'm glad to answer any questions, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has no questions.
Well, I appreciate your favorable support to Senate Bill 195 as changed by the House. I think it can be a significant improvement to health in Georgia. Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. Representative Drenner is recognized. She waves. Representative Dawson. The gentleman is recognized.
Good afternoon, members. I just wanted to come up and offer my vote to this most important, or my voice to this most important public health issue. I'm glad to see Georgia join other states. You know, I represent Fulton County and northern Coweta County, and this is an issue that's been keeping me up at night. So very proud to see this legislation. Glad to see us lead in this area. I'm from Alabama, and they beat us to this. Born and raised in Birmingham, I was surprised that they beat us to this, but very glad to see Georgia do this, and also want to recognize Representative Schofield, who was out in front of this issue, and others here. So thanks to you all. I definitely support this and hope that we'll pass this unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dawson. I appreciate it. I think Representative Drenner needs to unwave, and you can do that. The lady's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got caught up in the floor dynamics. So you often remind us that a story seldom told is soon forgotten. Today, I want to briefly honor the story behind why access to HIV prevention matters. This bill will likely pass without my remarks, but some measures deserve to be spoken to, not just voted on. HIV has touched lives across Georgia. Probably many of us in this room know someone who has tested positive or remember when outcomes were far worse than they are today. We now have highly effective prevention tools, but prevention only works when access is timely. Georgia continues to see high rates of new HIV diagnoses, with uneven impact across regions and populations. That tells us something simple and practical. Access and timing matter. In rural communities with provider shortages and in urban communities where appointment demands exceed capacity, pharmacies are often the most accessible healthcare point in both places. Open longer hours, close to where people live and already trusted. This bill allows trained pharmacists working under a physician protocol and clinical guidelines to help close that timing gap and expand responsible access to prevention. It keeps standards high, it reduces delay, and it protects lives. We cannot change the losses of the past, but we can use the tools we have today to prevent future ones. For those reasons, I ask for your favorable vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Drenner. Appreciate your words. That concludes our discussion on Senate Bill 195. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 195, the yeas are 155, the nays are 7. The bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. That completes our rules calendar. Thank you for your attention, members. For what purpose does Representative Gamble rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the rules be temporarily suspended so that a bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
The gentleman has moved. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption?
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Gamble, the 15th, and others to be entitled an act to amend titles 20, 34, and 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to education, labor, industrial relations, and state government.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended so a bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? Hearing none. Education. We have a I'm going to recognize Representative Beckles for an afternoon order. And we're going to ask the gentlelady to certainly present her afternoon order. And I think you're also going to present Representative Ali's afternoon order as well on an adoptable child. The lady's recognized for 2 afternoon orders. Representative Beckles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The British ties are evident in our chambers today. We heard from Olga Thorpe and now me. Congratulations to my home country of Barbados on re-electing Prime Minister Mia Mottley for a 3rd term. Her election victory is a powerful vote of confidence in her leadership and vision for Barbados. Her voice on climate action, economic strength, and Caribbean unity continues to resonate around the world. Congratulations, Madam Prime Minister. Wishing you continued success as you lead Barbados forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This transplanted Georgian yields the well.
You can come back. Ladies recognized for another afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the screen is Caden. Caden was born in 2013 and is an immensely bright child. He enjoys school, listens to all kinds of music, and gets along well with others. If you or anyone you know is looking to adopt Caden, or any of the children looking for a home, go to itsmyturnnow.dh.ga.gov. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Beckles, for doing that. That's an important afternoon order. We appreciate Representative Ali doing that and appreciate you pinch hitting today. That completes our afternoon orders. We need, Mr. Clerk, we have some privilege resolutions. We always do. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privilege resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of John Donald Steed. Honoring Kelsey Westlove Davis for her musical achievements and positive representation of Valdosta, Georgia. Recognizing 2026 Techno Demo Day at State Capitol. Commending Georgia line workers and recognizing April 13, 2026 as Georgia Line Worker Appreciation Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Congratulating the Pierce County High School cheerleading team for winning the 2025 GHSA Class 2A State Cheerleading Championship. Recognizing the First Seniors Center of Georgia. Recognizing March 18th, 2026 is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week. Recognizing, commending Keenan Thompson. Recognizing, commending London Rogers. Recognizing, commending Lisa Morgan. Commending Barrow County's 2026 Star Students and Star Teachers. Recognizing February 25, 2026 is Charter Schools Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing, commending Georgia State University. Honoring several cities upon their designation as Georgia Plan First Communities. Recognizing and commending Jerry Vasquez for her outstanding artistic talent and dedication for the visual arts. Recognizing, commending Ivan Soto for his outstanding artistic talent and dedication to the visual arts. Recognizing, commending Georgia Advancing Communities Together, Inc., and designating February 25, 2026 as Georgia Act Housing Day at the State Capitol. Recognizing, commending Deputy Nicholas Glass. Recognizing, commending Deputy Anthony Pacifico. Recognizing February 17, 2026 is the Fight Against Suicide Day. Recognizing, commending Andrew Adams, founder and owner of Pro Level Recovery. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. We're ready for announcements at this time, but I'm going to recognize a former member of this House, Representative Doug Stoner. Hey, Doug, good to have you again. Good to see you, man. Always good to have you back. Announcements. Representative Berry. Representative Berry's announced. Representative Jasmine Clark, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. City of Atlanta delegation meeting will be today in CAP 230 at 4 o'clock p.m. So City of Atlanta delegation, we're after Fulton County, which is at 3 p.m. City of Atlanta is at 4 p.m. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Clark, give the lady your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Gwinnett County delegation, we will be having a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. via Zoom. This is going to be a very important meeting. We're going to be talking about some bills, homestead exemptions, and also we will have special guests, Gwinnett County Public Schools, as well as Viewpoint Health. Would love to see you all tomorrow morning, bright and early, on our pre-Valentine's Day Gwinnett County delegation meeting. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 9.
Thank you, Representative Clark. You're meeting tomorrow? I'm working too. That's good. Chairman Stevens recognized for an announcement.
Members of Economic Development and Tourism Committee, we will meet immediately on adjournment
4:03 at the Capitol for a short meeting so you can get home to your Valentine. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you stay here now because you leave, they'll leave. About half the members out there on that committee, so don't leave. We'll lose a quorum. Representative McLean, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Working Family Caucus will meet today upon adjournment in room 307, and we were going to have Chairman Shaw talk about the home ownership opportunity. So look forward to seeing you all upon adjournment in room 307, and we do have a great lunch. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Great lunch, sounds good. Representative Drenner, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lady will
This is-
suspend. There may be someone who misses a room or a meeting or even lunch because they can't hear, so please give the lady your attention. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is an announcement that today we're having the 4th Congressional DOT meeting in the Senate chamber at 2 o'clock. So all of you that are in the 4th Congressional District, please show up. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Franklin, Representative Lehman Franklin from the big city of Statesboro, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I want you to remind you when you go home today, when you drive home and you're in your nice car and you're taking that trip back home, I want you to think about your car dealer back home. And then when you turn around and you come up here Monday and you're driving that nice, beautiful new car, I want you to think about your car dealer. And then Tuesday, I want you to think about your car dealer as well, because we will all be up here Tuesday for a dealer day at the Capitol. And we'll have room 123 in the Cap room 123, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So please drop by and say hello. Thank you.
Great announcement. What do you do anyway? I don't know. Yeah. Chairman Gullett is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Judicial appropriations will meet today at 1 o'clock in room 341. Judicial appropriations today, 1 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chairman. Chairman Gunther, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, on your desk is a card inviting you to a legislative appreciation breakfast sponsored by the Council of Superior Court Judges. It'll be on the second floor in room 230. Next Tuesday, February 17th, it'll go from 8:30 to 10 a.m. Please be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Chokas, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All the members of the Small Business Development Committee, we will be meeting Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., 506. We'll have a presentation from NFIB, National Federation of Independent Business. Hope y'all can be there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That completes our announcements. Now we have some special birthdays. One of them is for Representative Sheila Jones. Her birthday is on February the 16th. Now she and I have some history together. Our class, we came in together in 05, were sworn in 2005. So we've been here for a day or two. Happy birthday, Sheila. And also another birthday, Representative L.E. Mahdi Holly. Representative Holly, happy birthday. His is Saturday, is the 16th. Monday, yeah, Monday. I think that does it for us today. So members, check out your pages that are on the boards that you've welcomed here today. So we'll take, if you'll join us down front, we'll take some page photos. If some of you have to get to our 12:30 committee meetings, you need to make mention of that, and we'll get you in the front of the line. That concludes our work of the day. Thank you, members, for your patience and your participation. Majority Leader of this House is recognized for a motion. Leader Estration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
On the motion of the Majority Leader, Majority Leader illustration that this House be adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday, February the 17th, 2026. Take care of your Valentines. All in favor will say aye. Those opposed will say no. Y'all will never get it right. The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Y'all be safe and have a great weekend. We'll see you Tuesday.